Welcome to the driver's seat. We've been spending the day on a construction site. We're actually at the Port of Long Beach, one of the biggest ports in America, and we thought we'd bring the all-new 2020 Jeep Gladiator here. Gotta tell you, it's really turned a lot of heads. A lot of people that drive pickup trucks work in construction sites like this, so they would know best. We've spent a week with it, and I could tell you, mixed reactions. Make no mistake about it. Jeep has built a tremendous brand around the Wrangler, and from the B-pillar forward, this Gladiator is essentially a Wrangler. Yeah, it's got some different bits and pieces here and there, but as you can see, the fenders, the hood, you have basically a Jeep Wrangler, and that's a good thing because it's a very popular vehicle. When you're coming back, of course, you're going to have a bed, and it's a very long bed for a pickup truck. I mean, you look at the proportions of this vehicle, they don't quite work for me. When you look at the rest of the segment, you have the Tacoma and the Colorado, and now the Ranger. They work better. The proportions are split much better. Here you have this really long bed, and it's very functional, but I just don't know how many people are going to take these off-roading, and if you really don't need a Jeep and you just need a pickup truck, I really don't know if this is the best option. You are now in the driver's seat of the 2020 Jeep Gladiator Overland Edition. As mentioned, the price is $55,000, which is absurd to me that a pickup truck, especially a pickup truck that is so basic as the Gladiator, costs $55,000. And this is not even the Mac Daddy version, which is the Rubicon. I figure that's going to be about $65,000 plus. The Jeep brand, as I've stated before, is phenomenal. It has more cachet than any other American car company. So think about that for a minute. This is a global brand. Now, it's not just an American brand. If you go to Japan, you go to Russia, anywhere you go, and you just mention Jeep, people know what you're talking about. That's not exactly the case for other American brands, but everybody knows Jeep. And so they're leveraging that. Good for them. Why not? If I own Jeep, I would do the same thing. But you as a consumer, you can't be taken by that. You want a Jeep? Great. But my job is to help you get the most vehicle for the money, help you make really smart decisions. And when I look at this segment, which is a great segment that was dominated by Toyota and still is to some extent, but because of the Ranger and the Colorado and now Gladiator and Nissan's announcing a new Frontier, the segment's getting a lot of competition, and Toyota's fine with that because they're just cranking out Tacomas. They're still the one to beat. The Gladiator has some advantages, with its off-road capabilities, and really it comes down to branding. It's that image, and that's the big advantage that Jeep has. But no, if you buy a Tacoma, no one's going to question why you bought one. So I will say this: we've had two Gladiators now. We had a base car, and we were asked by Fiat Chrysler not to videotape it. It was, I'm talking base. It had a soft top, manual windows, manual door locks, manual mirrors. These are things that we just take for granted. I can't remember the last vehicle I've been in. In fact, I've never been in a car in the last 15 years that had any of those, much less all three of those. So we're talking bare bones, and that was $36,000. This is the Overland Edition. I don't know why they call it Overland when it's got street tires. They're not very don't have a lot of tread on them. Not very knobby, but nevertheless. Now, I'm not using a microphone because I wanted you to hear the wind noise. It's pretty bad. $55,000. Okay, maybe 5% of the people are buying this for the off-road capability. The other 95, they're buying it for the image, and they want a quiet noise. They want a quiet cabin. This is not a quiet cabin. This is a very loud cabin. I will say this, the ride on this one is pretty good compared to the Rubicon. The Rubicon is just a vertebrae beater. It will literally beat you into submission. And then, we get into the interior appointments. $55,000, I expect a lot better. Sure, it's got Apple CarPlay, it's got a nice, 7-inch multi-information display, but some cool graphics. That's about it. So, I don't know what to tell you. You want to buy one? Get it. I'm not going to talk you out of it. But if you're, strictly looking for advice, this is not the best way to spend $55,000 for a mid-size pickup truck, and that's what this is. It does have the best towing in the segment, just by a little bit, but nevertheless, it beat the Colorado and it beat the Tacoma. So it's got that, and I don't know. That's about it for me. I think the proportions are completely off. It just doesn't look balanced at all, and I think the ride quality is inferior to the competition, quite honestly. But it's fun. I've been getting a lot of thumbs up from people. I've been getting a lot of waves. I mean, I was just at a Cars and Coffee in San Clemente, and all these 6-figure cars, and people are staring at this thing. So, for the moment, Jeep has captured the attention of the truck enthusiast, and that's not easy to do. So they did that. Good for them. The question is, how will they capitalize on that? What will they do moving forward? And, can they jumpstart the MSRP and markups back to reality and get in line with the competition? That's going to be up to Jeep. So what's the bottom line on the all-new 2020 Jeep Gladiator? Well, I can tell you this. When they first came out, the dealers were marking them up as much as $20,000. That quickly went down to $10,000, and now they're at MSRP, and some are even discounting them. I don't know if this is going to make a big impact in the mid-size pickup truck segment, but for now, it does give Jeep enthusiasts something to get excited about. Starting price is $36,000. That is a very base truck. We actually had that truck. That would be a soft top with a manual transmission, manual mirrors, manual windows, and no power door locks, if you can imagine that. The one we're driving here, which is the Overland, is about $55,000, which just seems absurd to me. Not as capable or as good looking or as comfortable as Z71 or TRD Pro. So there you have it. I'm Ron Dorn. We'll see you next time on The Driver's Seat.